The Prince of Wales has severed ties with a donor who appeared to attempt to sell royal access for £20,000, without his knowledge. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Minerva Mondejar-Steiner, a Filipino-Swiss millionaire art gallery curator, reportedly offered private meetings with William and Princess Kate at the upcoming Royal Charity Polo Cup match in exchange for payment. James Gunn's heavy ties to the MCU add another layer of difficulty to his work in the new DC universe. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn shared new information on the timeline for Peacemaker Season 2, saying it takes place a couple years after the Season 1 finale. While shedding new light on the DCU timeline as the franchise continues to expand later this year, DC Studios' top creative gave viewers insight into the challenges of navigating a new saga. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Gunn admitted that he is intentionally keeping the timeline vague for where Peacemaker fits into the grand DC scheme. He realized the difficulty in keeping track of that timeline after all his time at Marvel, seeing the challenges in fitting an entire universe together. In developing his new DC universe, DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn is already encountering an issue he saw while working with the MCU. Having directed the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise for Marvel Studios before and during his work on new DC projects, Gunn has a unique perspective on navigating an expansive cinematic universe. Meanwhile, Gunn is hard at work putting the finishing touches on Season 2 of Peacemaker, centering on John Cena's antihero first established in 2021's The Suicide Squad. Picking up right where Season 1 left off, the story will include some wild twists and turns, including a double dose of John Cena's Peacemaker, while featuring Jennifer Holland, Danielle Brooks, Steve Agee, Freddie Stroma, and Frank Grillo. Peacemaker Season 2 will debut on HBO Max on August 21, 2025. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn shared new information on the timeline for Peacemaker Season 2, saying it takes place a couple years after the Season 1 finale. While shedding new light on the DCU timeline as the franchise continues to expand later this year, DC Studios' top creative gave viewers insight into the challenges of navigating a new saga. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Gunn admitted that he is intentionally keeping the timeline vague for where Peacemaker fits into the grand DC scheme. He realized the difficulty in keeping track of that timeline after all his time at Marvel, seeing the challenges in fitting an entire universe together. Gunn is also waiting to unveil even more confirmed projects for the DCU, as only about half of his Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters slate has been revealed publicly. While future projects may not be released in the same order as they come in the timeline itself, Gunn and company will be sure to update fans on what they need to know over the coming years. Thankfully, due to his extensive experience with the red and blue brands, Gunn seems to already have a grip on the DCU's long-term future in terms of how he will tie his numerous franchises together. Now that Gunn is in charge of an entirely new cinematic universe, where he has to organize every new movie and TV show's place in the timeline, he already seems to be on top of fitting everything into place. This was particularly challenging because only most of Peacemaker Season 1 is canon with his franchise, but now he has a fresh slate moving forward. In mid-May 2025, Gunn confirmed that the first 5 projects planned for release in his new DCU will debut in theaters and on HBO Max in the same order they take place in the universe itself. At the moment, this includes everything between 2024's Creature Commandos and 2026's Supergirl. DC Studios continues to weave the web between projects in the rebooted DCU. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. The DC Cinematic Universe, DCU, has only just begun with the release of Creature Commandos and the upcoming Superman, but DC Studios is already laying the groundwork for its interconnected universe. Co-studio head James Gunn made it clear his DCU will do some things differently from the current MCU. Still, both franchises aim to create a range of superhero projects that link together into a cohesive universe, which involves planning these links well ahead of time. The Wonder Woman-adjacent television series Paradise Lost was one of the initial DCU projects in James Gunn and Peter Safran's Gods and Monsters slate. The series is focused on the origins and culture of Themyscira, the mythical all-female island from which Diana Prince hails. Gunn confirmed to Entertainment Weekly that Paradise Lost and the upcoming Wonder Woman movie would be separate things, but that they're connected. A new Wonder Woman movie was only just confirmed to be in development, so it's unclear how intertwined the two projects will be, but it's a safe bet that Themyscira will be a link between both. DC Studios already laid out how some of its projects will connect, whether that be through a certain character appearing in multiple DC films or series or a story event linking these disparate titles together. With a second season of Creature Commandos confirmed, it will no doubt continue to be a launchpad for DCU characters and connections across the wider superhero universe. Creature Commandos and its ragtag team of monster heroes already have fingers in several DCU pies thanks to its inclusion of characters like Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., who has a role in both Superman and Peacemaker Season 2. Viola Davis also returns to voice Argus director Amanda Waller in the animated show, who was responsible for assembling the Suicide Squad in the old DCU, and Gunn's sequel The Suicide Squad, and commissions the Creature Commandos team. Several Superman actors have been confirmed for appearances in Peacemaker's second season, including Isabella Merced, Hawkgirl, Nathan Fillion, Green Lantern, and Sean Gunn, Maxwell Lord. Superman is also heavily rumored to feature a cameo from Millie Alcock's Supergirl film, which will tie the two Kryptonian heroes' stories together. Superman hits theaters on July 11, 2025. Superman is the first live-action film in the rebooted DCU and, as such, is one of the essential tethers in the superhero universe. The appearance of Rick Flag Sr., Frank Grillo, in the film connects the movie to Creature Commandos, but perhaps more relevant is how Superman will connect to the next DCU project, Peacemaker Season 2. In Season 1, Peacemaker followed on from the events of the Suicide Squad, and saw Peacemaker team up with Amanda Waller's daughter Leota, Danielle Brooks, to stop an intergalactic invasion. Season 2 of the show will follow the events of Superman, introducing Frank Grillo Sr. to the story and some of Superman's Justice Gang characters. Releasing its second season on August 21, 2025, on HBO Max, Peacemaker is a unique project that existed in both the old DCU and the new one, and as a result, will bridge both superhero franchises. After being introduced in the Suicide Squad, John Cena's non-traditional hero gained enough popularity to earn his own show. While audiences will meet Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, aka Green Lantern, in Superman First, he is far from the only man to carry the moniker, which will be explored in the HBO series Lanterns. The next major film release after Superman will follow the Kryptonian's cousin, Supergirl. Landing on June 26, 2026, the movie is directed by Craig Gillespie and stars Alcock as Supergirl in an adventure that features Jason Momoa's Lobo. Regarding crossover material, Supergirl is likely to connect in some ways to Superman's events, just because the two characters are family. However, a cameo from David Corenswet's hero or another Superman character isn't unlikely, particularly if Alcock makes an appearance in his solo film first. Additionally, Supergirl is expected to include Superman's dog, Krypto, who features in both stories. Another TV show included in the Chapter 1 slate for the DCU is Waller, a solo series starring Viola Davis's Argus director. The series is supposedly directly connected to Peacemaker and will explore Waller's relationship with her Argus team members, particularly her daughter, Leota. However, it's unclear where the series stands right now. A report indicates that Waller is one of several DCU projects facing problems in development. These projects are far from the only ones DC Studios has in development at the moment. However,